You're tuned in to Oilers Nation every day with Tyler Yaremchuk, live every weekday on the Nation Network YouTube.
A must-win game against the Flyers at the end of February? That sounds weird to say, but it might just be the case. Sherwood 4 Giant Game Day. Let's get into it with the lead. Jay will be stopping by in a couple of minutes. We're going to give you a full Sherwood 4 Giant Game Day edition of Oilers Nation every day, streaming to you live on the Nation Network YouTube, where the chat is alive and well. Tyson is in with the first comment of the day. He says, let's go Oilers. Let's get back in the win column, play solid defense, score a bunch of goals, and start climbing back up towards first in the division. Not totally out of the picture, in my opinion, but we'll chat about that throughout today's show. We are streaming to you live from the Sports Closet studio. You can check them out at sportscloset.ca. Whether you want some of that fresh reverse retro gear that dropped throughout this season, or you just want to get some gear for the stretch drive, Sports Closet has it all, no matter what sport you're looking for. They got you covered. Learn more, sportscloset.ca. 587 Legend is in, racks on racks, smoking on that Flyers pack. I love those comments. They always make me laugh. Michael Teixeira says, we're winning this one. And Richard said, let's get back on track. Boys, Rusty, the Reckless Optimist, winning today gets us some more separation from Calgary, and it closes the gap between us and the division title. Let's go. Yeah, the standings are, the Oilers have taken a bit of a hit in terms of their push to maybe win the division this season. They're now 4 points back of Vegas, and Vegas has a game in hand on them. They're 3 points back of LA, same number of games played. 2 points back of Seattle, same number of games played. 5 points up on the Calgary Flames, same number of games played. Philly did the Oilers a favor last night, taking down the Calgary Flames on the holiday Monday. Hope everyone had a great holiday Monday as well. So that was big. San Jose took care of the Seattle Kraken 3-0. That was a weird one. Point being, it was a nice out-of-town scoreboard for the Edmonton Oilers yesterday. Now, tonight, you need to take advantage of what you're supposed to do. LA's in Minnesota. They even have a tough matchup tonight. As you can see here, Flyers beat the Flames 4-3 last night. The out-of-town scoreboard could be working in your favor. Vegas also gets Chicago, so that's probably going to be 2 points for the Vegas Golden Knights this evening. You need to win tonight if you're the Edmonton Oilers. Philly is not that good. Looking at their last 10 games, they only have 3 wins. I believe one of those even came against the Edmonton Oilers as well. They're 23, 25, and 10 on the season. There's drama everywhere. John Tortorella's out here healthy scratching Travis Sanheim, whose 8-year extension hasn't even kicked in yet. It's not good in Philly. The one concerning sign would be that they decided to save Carter Hart for this game. Makes sense considering he's a local product. We saw him play really well against the Edmonton Oilers the last time these two teams met back on February 9th. Carter Hart stopped 34 of 35 in the shootout for the Flyers, including a beautiful glove save on Connor McDavid in overtime. So you can't take this Flyers team lightly simply because of how good Carter Hart can be. He's allowed 4 goals in back-to-back starts, though. He's had an 8-10 and a 7.89 save percentage, so maybe he's starting to dip down just a little bit. But this Flyers team, they can still give you fits. They're going to play that annoying defensive Tortorella trap style. They're going to try clog up the neutral zone. They're going to try stop the Oilers' offense before it even gets going. This is not an easy matchup for Edmonton, despite what the standings say. But just because it's not an easy matchup for Edmonton doesn't mean this isn't a game the Oilers should absolutely win. They should be walking to victory. Again, the Flyers play a system that I don't think lines up that well with the Oilers, but the Flyers aren't that good. So the Oilers should be imposing their own system tonight. A lineup note to pass along your way is that Vinny Desharnais has been recalled this evening. Our resident capologist, Original Puzar, he dropped this over to us earlier today, saying Desharnais will be an emergency call-up as they don't have cap room for him. That means Kane and Kostin are both still out, or others in their place, or Vinny can replace Devon Shore, who would be sent back down or potentially go on LTIR. So there's a few different options here. But it sounds like the Oilers are still battling some sort of an illness or injury bug. No update on whether or not Evander Kane is going to play in the lineup this evening. So we'll keep an eye on a few things like that as the Oilers, they did take to the ice. Stuart Skinner is going to get the start. That is one piece of news we were able to get. I'm not sure if we heard anything about Evander Kane, but again, plenty of stories to keep an eye on as we go throughout the day. Jay's going to be stopping by in a few minutes, but you know who is here? Wearing his brand new Nation Gear hat that I feel like you rocked it almost every show now. You're a big fan of that new lid.
It's because I do this weird thing, Tyler, where I'll wear a hat for a while, then I'll put it down and I forget where I put it. So I'm currently, this might be the only hat I have, but it's also pretty styling. My dad got one too, and he's feeling pretty fly about the whole thing. So go get one. Get them Sports Closet and then Nation Gear.
NationGear.ca. If while you're at NationGear.ca, maybe you want to take one of the final 2 spots on our nation vacation to Toronto that's coming up.
Maybe.
Could check that out. Shout out to AMA Travel, who makes all of our trips a ton of fun. Also, oh, there you go. We got a little picture. Look how bougie that looks. It's gold.
Bougie.
We're not flying first class or anything, but we are staying at the Fairmont Royal York, which is a top-notch hotelium. Sitting in a gondola suite, free food, or food included, I should say. It's going to be a really good time. Shout out to AMA Travel. Also, our birthday party is up there right now on the site, $20.07. And it's that, I mean, you want to talk about a good time. The pint for an afternoon game, a big afternoon game against the Seattle Kraken. Your ticket, like I said, $20.07. And it gets you actually a lot. 1, gets you into the party. 2, it's all in support of free play for kids. It's going to get you an exclusive Nation Gear shirt as well. It's going to get you a drink when you walk into the pint as well.
We've seen the shirt, I think.
We have a general idea of what the shirt looks like.
Pretty nice. So yeah,
pretty
see
sharp.
You there, everyone.
Hopefully.
All 106 of you right now. And we currently have, let me check the lights, Tyler.
32.
32. Road to 100 continues.
Road to 100 continues.
That's the goal today.
Let's get 100 likes. Hammer that like button if you're watching on the Nation Network. Original Puzar, neither Kane nor Kostin skated this morning. So we'll see. Sounds like Vinny Desharnais is going to get in then. Just a matter of what the rest of the lineup kind of looks like tonight against the Flyers.
Just the Vincent Desharnais thing has really made me laugh over the last few days because I agree. I love Vincent Desharnais. I love what he brings to the team. But boy, oh boy, has it been a massive coincidence that this team has lost 2 games since he left the lineup. And now it's like, okay, it's over, everyone. The win streak starts again tonight. And it does.
It could.
But I don't think it's solely on Vinny Desharnais, people.
No, the guy who plays the 7th most minutes on your blue line. I do think, like, I love the guy. I love what he's brought. I think this is a stretch of games that has probably changed how you're going to handle your blue line in the offseason, because you're probably going to work around having Vinny Desharnais on your roster to start next season. But Vinny Desharnais is not the reason they have points in 14 of their last 15 or whatever the hell this streak is. I think it's a part. We saw this with Marcus Niemelainen at points too.
Yes.
Parts of this fan base see a hard-nosed physical defenseman, and they don't really care about anything else. And Vinny's been good. I'm not trying to take anything away from him. He's great. But, like, you aren't changing your deadline plans around Vinny, and you aren't winning or losing games solely based off Vinny. But with Vin in, we win, or whatever the hell Jay wants.
With Vinny, we Winny.
Sure. There you go.
It's a very simple saying.
There you go. Blake says he's not the reason. Sure. Frog Prince says just call him Victory Desharnais. Absolutely. I love it. But again, people who are saying the Oilers were losing those games because Vinny wasn't in the lineup, pump the brakes.
I like for those people to also recognize that if the Oilers acquired another defenseman, it would be Vinny Desharnais that went down.
Yeah. So
pick your poison, people.
Yeah, unless they ran with 8 D-men on the roster, which could be a possibility, but wouldn't make a ton of sense. Stuart Skinner is going to get the start between the pipes for the Edmonton Oilers, and if you listened to our show yesterday, you will know that I like that decision. He's coming off one of his worst games of the season against Montreal. That was back on February 12th. He's had 9 days to stew on his 6-goal-against performance against the Habs. But before that, it was 1 goal against Philly. He was very good against his Flyers team. 3 goals against Columbus, but in a game where I actually thought he played really well, and they gave up a lot of really good scoring chances. 2 goals against Vancouver. He was solid there, 931. 3 goals the game before that. He got yanked against the LA Kings. So those are the last 5 for our guy, Stuart Skinner, but he played well against Philly, and as you can see by this graphic, this is a Flyers team that isn't really a threat to score. Like, the Oilers need to take the charge offensively here tonight, because they didn't really do that in the last game against Philly. And I know there were maybe some bad breaks throughout that game in terms of the Oilers special teams and things like that, not getting the job done, not getting a single power play. This Flyers power play sucks. Their penalty kill is subpar, even though it's somehow better than the Oilers still. But this is not a Flyers team that scores very often, is my point.
No, basically what happened the last time they played the Flyers needs to be the complete opposite for this game. If the Oilers want to win, they can't allow Carter Hart to kind of get hot, because when he's going, he's one of the best goalies in the league. But yeah, the Oilers should have some juice behind him tonight, considering what's happened the last 3 games now. And you're on home ice. You owe your fans a good game.
Yeah, you do. And you've been not good on home ice so far this season. We'll dig into more of our Sherwood Ford Giant Game Day topics here. Sherwood Ford and their service center. Head to their website, sherwoodford.ca. You can check out more. Get free valet service pickup and drop off, or choose Ford Mobile Service to come to you with over 51 service bays and the latest in Ford diagnostic tools and Ford trained technicians. They're ready to help you keep your vehicle running smoothly. Boom, you head to the website, and this is what you see. Pointing the wrong way. Jay, you want to hop in?
Oh, can I?
Yeah, you can. Got the little Sherwood Ford graphic up. Game day, taking on the Flyers.
We sure are.
I'm calling it a must-win.
I'm calling this a shit kicking. This is one of those games where
you think they'll just.
It's one of the beatdown games. They need to get things back on the rails. I just feel that is what's going to happen. I am betting very aggressively on that case.
We'll get to our bets a little bit later in the show. But yeah, I agree. Like, this is a Flyers team that's just, they're not good. They got outshot pretty bad against the Calgary Flames, although the Flames tend to kind of do that to everybody. And the Flyers, something else I dug up, they're playing in the second of back-to-backs, and they have been brutal in the second game of back-to-backs this year. 2-7 with 34 goals against in those 9 games. They give up a ton. They are not a team that carries over from one night to the next all that well. That's something the Oilers are going to have to take advantage of.
And they got the win last night, right? So they won in Calgary. Did they go to OT?
No, it was regulation.
No, it was regulation, but still it was a hard-fought game. And now they have to, pop up the QE2 and play a very pissed off, need to prove it Oilers. So this is one on the Philly calendar that has to be a scheduled loss. Has to be.
Yeah, I mean, you would certainly hope it's that perspective. I was talking a little bit about how the Flyers play a style that I think doesn't line up well with the Oilers. They like to
worked last time.
I know they like to drag the game out, kind of run you down, dump and chase. They play that trappy John Tortorella style. And I was looking at the shots against for them in their last few games. 35 against Calgary, but that's a Flames team that shoots from the parking lot. Only 23 against Vancouver, 30 against the Kraken, 21 against the Kraken the game before that one, because they played them twice in a row, 25 against the Flyers, against the Preds. Those are their last 5 games. They actually don't give up a ton of shots. So that's going to be a big thing for the Oilers. Maybe touch on that a little bit later with my keys to victory. But Carter Hart is expected to get the start
boy.
tonight.
Always he's got a little.
I'm sure he's a nice guy, but I hope he has a miserable evening. Carter Hart's family, I hope you enjoy the game.
They'll love you regardless of win or lose, Carter.
Yeah,
just remember that they don't have a choice.
And us personally would
we'll
love
you
more.
As well.
Yeah, if you gave up 4 or 5.
You grew up an Oilers fan. Do us a solid, bro.
Yeah. You're not making the playoffs in Philly. Come on. Electronic Jordan has a question for us. Does Connor McDavid hit 50 goals tonight? And it's actually an interesting little storyline that Gavin, the intern, pointed out to me. Connor McDavid's gone 4 games without a goal. Oh. Has he even gone 4 games? I'm just looking. He had a 3-game stretch without a goal back in November, and a 3-game stretch without a goal in October. But since then, I mean, this is his first time all season going 4 games without a goal, and it's not for lack of effort. In those 4 games, he's tacked on 23 shots on net. Connor McDavid, is he the definition of due tonight? He's also at 42 goals, so Electronic Jordan, he's not getting 50 tonight. But I just wanted to parlay that into it. I wanted to parlay that into a chat about his kind of scoring slump here.
I know. I'm not concerned. He's not shooting as much either.
Yeah.
Are you noticing that? He's not shooting as much as he was at the beginning of the season. So
I mean, he has 23 in his last 4 games. He's hit his shot prop in 6 straight.
Oh, he's a shot prop master. Of course he knows that. Okay, whatever. Eye test says he's not shooting as much.
Well, the numbers I have in front of me would say otherwise.
What's the shot quality?
Good.
Yeah?
According to me.
See, once again.
But listen, our friends at Betway think Connor McDavid's due tonight because he's minus 138 to find the back of the net this evening.
Oh, so gross. Like you parlay Oilers to win with Connor to score, and it like moves the needle like
It's like a hair.
20 points.
McDavid to get a point and Oilers to win is minus 275. Like it's insanity.
That is so gross.
And
You
the
have to
Oilers
bet
and the
against
Oilers
that on principle.
and the Oilers to win tonight is minus 300. So McDavid only moves it 25 cents.
Once again, why the decimal makes sense.
We're not okay. Yeah, listen, they're big favorites tonight, as they should be. I also want to see this team just go pedal to the floor and play the right way on home ice.
Just
Like,
beat the wheels off the Flyers.
They played
Beat the wheels.
31 home games this season, and they only have 13 wins.
I know, that's not
No,
good.
I did that math really wrong. They've played
Oh,
29 home
shocker.
games this season, and they only have 13 wins. It's not good. Not good.
No, not good at all.
This team, with their kind of talent, having last change, I'll even put a little bit of it on Jay Woodcroft. You need to be taking advantage of matchups better. You should be like almost unbeatable on home ice instead of below 500.
Yeah, man, it's what's killing our season right now. I'm
Yep.
not saying our season's dead, but just like think about where we'd be if we were just half decent at home. You can't even say we're that.
No, you
Given the
can't say that
caliber
at
of
all.
team we are.
So hopefully, they figure that out.
Arizona, since they moved into the Mullet Arena, is probably better at home than us.
Did you know that Arizona has actually been the most profitable home team from a betting perspective in the entire NHL?
Because they win at the Mullet.
They're 13-8-2 at the mullet.com or Mullet Arena.
I would
Sorry,
kill to
say
be
that.
13-8-2.
Yeah, I'm looking. Sorry, I really want to pull up the stat again here to see what the numbers exactly. If you were to put $100 this season on the Coyotes to win every home game, you'd be up $1,200.
Woo-wee!
If you were to put $100 on the Oilers every home game this season, you'd be down $761. It's a $1,900 swing between the Oilers and Yotes. The Oilers have been a profitable road team this year, coming in at 462. But if you were to bet on the Oilers every game this season, these numbers are courtesy of OddsShark. You'd be down $300 if you put $100 on Edmonton to win every game this year outright. So
that
not
is
great.
change.
That does need to change. Who do you think's been the most profitable team overall in the NHL this year? If you had to guess,
Seattle.
Buffalo.
no, Seattle's close. One of the best in the West, or the best in the West. Boston is actually number one.
I guess because
They just don't lose.
they're paying crap. They just
Yeah.
don't lose.
But anyways,
Yeah, that's fair.
it goes to show if you just chip away with maybe some worse payouts, you'll be better in the long run.
You know, well, your betting record would suggest that, but screw it. I bet with my heart.
You guys are active and alive in the Nation Network YouTube chat. I actually really like this point from Tyson, who says the players are the reason for our home game record. They always try to get too cute and fancy instead of playing the system. Stop trying to put on a show for the home crowd. Play the game the right way. I love that. I really do like that.
You know what? We love goals. This just ended.
Gavin passed this along. The Oilers were 28-12-1 at home last year, so they can do it. They can. They know how to win at home. This core group
What's
has shown us.
different? That's just so
It's
weird.
just-
It's such a fickle game mentally, you know, hockey.
Yeah, it's really
I guess any
annoying.
sport, but
Oilers need to turn it around on home ice tonight as they take on the Philadelphia Flyers. Let's get into our daily trade talk for today because we are 10 days away from the NHL trade deadline. There is a report that the Boston Bruins are close to or have an agreement in place to acquire Vladislav Gavrikov from the Columbus Blue Jackets. The sticking point is that they can't find anyone to take Craig Smith. So the Bruins and Blue Jackets have apparently said, yeah, it's whatever picks for Gavrikov, we're good. The Blue Jackets have told the Bruins, we're not going to wait forever. The Bruins are saying, we need to get rid of Craig Smith before we can do this deal, and they can't find anyone to take Craig Smith
they
off
can't
their
send
hands.
him down.
He's making $3.1 million. So that's their Gavrikov money.
Oh,
I'm a little bit surprised that Columbus wouldn't just say, because he's an expiring contract, we'll take him. We'll just
for another pick.
Sure, yeah, for another pick, or take him, keep half, and flip him somewhere for a pick.
Send him to Arizona for a pick.
Yeah, I'm just really surprised if we're hearing that this is happening and the deal has reportedly been agreed to for a while, that Boston hasn't found a way to just pull the
It's $3
trigger.
million, but it's decent dollars.
Yeah,
so
3.
they probably don't want to part with a third or a second or whatever it's going to take to dump that contract.
Yeah, and the interesting part too, actually, when you look at his deal breakdown, is real money. He's $4.3 million this year. So that's like I don't know why Boston did that actually, because it was $2 million the first year, then 3, then 4.3.
Is he an RFA?
He's a UFA. So if
Oh.
you would have switched that, you would have been this year probably been able to get rid of that for like a 6th rounder. But now that it's 4.3, it might cost you a 2nd rounder to get rid of Craig Smith, assuming he's a dead asset, which he sounds like he is because they can't move him. Frank Saravalli today talked about Colton Parayko's availability in St. Louis. He is out there. The Blues are open to dealing him. They are looking for a young defenseman in return. Frank mentioned the Ottawa Senators as a potential fit. They have a couple of right shot young D-men in Jacob Bernard Docker and Lassie Thompson that they could look to move. I was talking to
Doing
Waz.
a trade deadline acquisition for next season?
Yeah, that's going to be
that's weird.
But the Sens want to play meaningful hockey, right? That's kind of their thing, is they want to give this young core like what it's like to go down the stretch.
Then risk losing. Is Parayko deal up, or is he still under contract?
He's in the first year of an 8-year extension that pays him $6.5 million.
Then yeah, that makes sense.
$6.5 million. Parayko, 29 years old. He has a no trade clause. So I'm quite honestly not sure why he would agree to go to Ottawa, but that's beside the point.
Because there's some excitement to be had there. He's got 8 more years, right? So,
would you be interested in Parayko if you could make the money work?
Me?
Yeah.
A big, solid defenseman.
$6.5 million though, and they won't keep any of that because there's so many years.
Yeah, but we're also trying to think about how we can squeeze Erik Karlsson at $7.5 million.
So yeah, like you can't do both, obviously.
But I'm saying, like, if we're thinking that, then getting Parayko in isn't that crazy.
Yeah.
Like it's doable. Like
I don't know if I like the 8 years of him though. That's intense. Like I don't want to have to be paying.
Once again, we have a 3-year window.
I know, but he's already slowing down. I think in 2 years
what's the buyout look like?
Probably not great considering how long the deal is.
Bonus? Is it front loaded? Is it bonus laden? Is it
buyout? Let's say they buy him out in 2026. Yeah, the buyouts. I mean, not terrible, but not great.
But once again, if we're talking about a 3-year window,
yeah,
and these 3 years of Parayko are going to be still good and beneficial to us.
I said this yesterday on the show, and I think I got a lot of people on board with it because I saw a lot of people tweeting me saying they were on board with it.
How dare you agree with Yaremchuk?
I think I'm starting to go all in on Matthias Ekholm and Tanner Jeannot.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
They're on Frank's trade targets list.
Yes.
Nashville's apparently worried about the arbitration with Jeannot because he has a 20-goal season under his belt. These two guys combined this year would be just like a hair over $7 million. If you could convince Nashville to keep some money on Ekholm and get that down, like if you could convince him to keep $2 million, I know it's over the next 3 years. You'd have to pay handsomely for it. But I threw out the idea of make the money work with Puljujarvi, and then you send Fogel somewhere else.
How old's Ekholm?
32. But he's shown he can hold up.
He's like Robin Regeer type.
Yeah.
But like that's what we need.
So let's say,
I don't know what his first pass ability is, but like he is in the mix offensively.
Like if you could convince Nashville to keep 1.8 of this deal, then you could get Jeannot and Ekholm for 5.25 combined.
Yep.
That's Puljujarvi and Fogel out the door. Fogel in a separate deal.
Fogel out the door. He's scoring like crazy. I don't know.
But man, I mean, you talk about getting harder to play against in your bottom 6. Tanner Jeannot does that. I know he's a left shot, but maybe you could see if you could flip him around. Like that part's not great, but I like that guy in the Oilers bottom 6.
He is beefy.
He's a mean dude, and you always say we need more Saskatchewan products.
Wow, that's a former Moose Jaw Warrior. We don't have enough of those ever.
And you get Ekholm. Like I think I would do, and I said this yesterday on the show, so I'm interested in your take. Again, you got to send Puljujarvi to Nashville. You got to send Fogel another way. I would do a first, a second, and Borgo to get that package.
Jeannot's an RFA.
Jeannot's an RFA.
Yeah, I'd do that. I would do that for sure.
And Puljujarvi. So a first, second, Borgo, and Puljujarvi is basically like 2 first-round picks because of Borgo, another premium asset in the deal, and they get to test run Puljujarvi for a bit.
And you can still somehow pull off a Patty Kane trade.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like that, I don't mind. It gives us options. Like Ekholm is solid. Great beard too.
Mm-hmm.
Jeannot is the beef. And he shows he can squeeze hard nose. Like, you can I bet you he'll do well with us.
Mm-hmm.
And in the playoffs, that guy is going to be a Viking.
Yeah. Another interesting trade note that came along today is that Jacob Chychrun is back practicing with the Arizona Coyotes.
Well, he's got to skate.
Yeah, I guess, but I just, man, what a weird thing.
Isn't the weird thing, or I don't know if I saw a troll account, but I'm pretty sure it was Daily Faceoff that St. Louis is in the Timo Meier conversation.
Frank Saravalli started that noise today. That was the breaking news to start Daily Faceoff Live. Apparently, Doug Armstrong is sitting there saying, hold up, I just got a first and another first.
This is what he does.
Yeah, this is
what he does. He rebuilds on the fly.
So Frank outlined that there was a few years ago, he traded
Bacchus Oshie situation.
He traded Stastny at the deadline, got a first-round pick, comes to the summer, flips that first-round pick, got Ryan O'Reilly. He's also done it with like Kevin Shattenkirk and stuff. He loves doing this kind of a move.
He's going to trade Parayko, go get Chikrin. He's going to go get Timo Meier.
And he's just going to retool on the fly.
He's going to retool on the fly. He is a genius. He loves accumulating picks and then spending those picks immediately.
Yeah. It's wicked smart business to take advantage of high asking prices around the deadline. And then also like guys like Meier, like, man, if Meier was a pending UFA, he should be getting like a first and a second plus because he's that good. The guy's probably going to score 45 goals this year. And he's already got 31 on a dog shit team.
Yeah. Well, in St. Louis's first round is worth more than anyone else's.
Yeah, potentially. Or they'll try to keep their first and just trade the periphery ones they got, right?
Fair.
But Meier should be going for this much if he didn't have team control. The fact that you can bring him in, put him into your lineup, either try to re-sign him or flip him at the deadline, I think that's why a lot of teams are interested in him, but I'm just surprised that the reported ask isn't a lot higher. Because Timo Meier's legit. If St. Louis does that, I would give Doug Armstrong a ton of props for the way he's kind of flipped that narrative around there. They're not making the playoffs this year. That's just a little bit too far gone, but they would be a force next year if you're looking at 26 or younger Buchnevich is 27 too, so he's in this mix, but you're looking at Meier, Kyrou, Thomas, Buchnevich as like your core four to build around. It's a really good forward.
And maybe next year they could be great, but definitely the year after.
Yeah. Oh, and they might get another first-round pick for Ivan Barbashev because apparently there's a little bit of a bidding war for him. Teams like Calgary, New Jersey, Carolina, Dallas, Winnipeg, Boston, all interested in Barbashev. So, I mean, like Doug Armstrong could end up with getting rid of his rentals, bringing in Timo Meier, and still having 2 first-round picks this year. That's insane. If he gets a first for Barbashev, he might have 3 first-round picks and Timo Meier in his organization. That's just crazy. That's crazy good GM work. Yeah.
There's magic to be done. There's always magic to be done.
It's really smart work.
Are we going to do any magic? Are we pulling off any magic?
We'll see. We will see. We are 10 days away from the NHL trade deadline. We're going to be doing a 4-hour live show on Daily Faceoff. So if you aren't subscribed to the Daily Faceoff YouTube yet, go do that right now. Do me a solid. Subscribe to the DFO YouTube. You get all of Frank's stuff there as well. Wise Kyle says, I'd move Puljujarvi and Yamamoto before Fogle. Hey, I mean, Warren Fogle, all the credit to him. This guy, he's doing one of two things right now. He is either playing himself off the trade block or he's making himself a tradable asset. Yeah, I don't know which one it is yet. It's one of those two.
He's still inconsistent, but like, man, the guy just always scores in bunches, eh?
He does. And the other thing I like about his game, and like Liam and I kind of ripped him for this earlier in the year, and I'll get your thoughts on this too, Liam, but there was a stretch there where 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, he went 9 straight games without getting more than 1 shot. It was 1 shot or no shots. He wasn't hitting, really wasn't doing anything. And now you look as of late, he's gone in 9 of his last 10 and had multiple shots on net. He's starting to get more physically engaged. He's found the back of the net 5 times in that span, like 5 goals in his last 11 with multiple shots in almost all of those games. It feels like he's woken up a little bit and he's inconsistent. So there's a part of me that says if some team has watched this last 11 games and go, we'll take him for a year and a half, you still do it. But I've been really impressed with the way he's kind of turned it around, and he's doing this all only playing north of 13 minutes once in that span.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, like when he was playing, he wasn't doing anything at all half the time. So now, yeah, he's getting to like the areas where you actually need to score some goals and play in that kind of style and kind of being a little bit of a dick out there as well in like a small way. Like that penalty he got on Byron was kind of a greasy play where he just stood behind him and waited to trip him. So yeah, I think that's good to see. And also, I would just like to give myself a little pat on the back, Tyler.
Yep.
I did say St. Louis would be a good option for Timo Meier when we did our matchmaking thing the other day.
You're a smart man, Liam.
Me and Doug Armstrong.
You're tight?
Yep.
Then what should the Oilers do? What magic should they do if you've got your magical hat on right now?
My magical hat says I am on the Ekholm and Jeannot train. I like that one a lot. I am completely off Colin Parayko. I think he's just way too long for that contract to deal with it. I'm mixed on Karlsson. So I think the Oilers need to go out there and maybe get a little stronger. I think when they were doing that during that stretch where they were winning with Kane, Desharnais, and Klim Kostin, that was the best hockey when they were kind of being douchebags about it, right? So if you can find another guy like that, I think it makes them way better and it opens up the game
a bit of a prick.
Jeannot's just right there too. So, I think it's right there for them to grab. So that's what I would do.
I'm fine. Like, trust me, I love the whole idea and spectacle of bringing Erik Karlsson to the Oilers. But like, if you don't, what are you doing? That is a great second option. And I would grade it very similar to like an Erik Karlsson in terms of impact.
I think it's more
It's a better fit for sure. And then it definitely does open up us to make another move.
I think to just go back to it a little bit, just on the Karlsson thing, but the Craig Smith deal, the fact Boston can't move that Craig Smith money for that long, and we expect someone to take Karlsson
because no one wants to help them.
Long. Yeah,
no one wants to help the best team in the league.
Yeah.
But then why would teams want to help us?
They don't. I mean,
it's difficult to do, I guess.
Well, Arizona will take they'll help anyone they can for capital
picks.
It's also a little bit different. Like Craig Smith, he's 34, right? So I think if someone wants to take 26-year-old Warren Foegele for a year and a half, Foegele scored more than Craig Smith this year.
I meant more of like someone taking Carlson's money.
Oh, no one's going to do that, though.
Yeah, so that's the difficulty of it.
But yeah, like Craig Smith he's got 4 goals this year. He's only got 10 points. Like the guy's not that good, and he's expensive. And
the
he's
Sharks
old.
should take him.
Well, yeah, but like again, at least
for picks.
At least when we talk about teams helping the Oilers, like Foegele and Puljujarvi are young and have some upside, and a team that's rebuilding is going to say, or might say, hey, we'll test drive them. Like, let's see if they're a fit. Let's see if the change of scenery helps them out a little bit. With Craig Smith, you're literally just bringing on money.
Yeah, so actually, Doug Armstrong should do it for another bullet in the chamber.
Yeah, he probably should because they have a lot of money. Also, the Minnesota Wild, I'm intrigued by them ahead of the deadline, but we can table that. Frank Seravalli is going to be on the show tomorrow for our weekly insider chat with him. So we'll have a lot of questions for Frank Seravalli. It's getting to that time. It'll be a second last hit between now and the deadline. B-Max is in and says, Yaremchuk, don't expect this team to go all in because they won't. Sure. Sergeant Battle says, if we go for Ekholm, Jeannot, and Lafferty, I'd be very happy. I think that's like a decent little angle to look at.
That really bolsters the bottom 6.
Yeah. I mean, you'd probably in that scenario be moving out both of Puljujarvi and Foegele, or Puljujarvi and Yamamoto if that were to happen. But you would have Jeannot and Lafferty both under team control for the next little bit. And I'd be intrigued. Like, I know original Puzar was saying, you're worried about Jeannot's arbitration case, and I would be too. But you bring a guy like that, like a Saskatchewan boy to Edmonton, and you do a little, a little hometown massaging there. Maybe he sits there and goes, yeah, you know what? I got a shot to play with McDavid and Draisaitl. I'll take a 3-year deal. That's cheap. Or cheaper than my arbitration, and I'll see if I can cash in big time in a few years and
he's leaving a state that's tax-free, no state tax.
Yeah, sure, but like from a long-term investment perspective.
I'm just thinking this through.
Yeah.
Yes. We need more Sasky. We only have who's our only Sasky player on the team?
Ryan Murray.
We're not even dressing him.
Son of a gun. Ryan Murray's still on LTIR. Rusty says, why can't we go all in?
I agree. We should. We'd have to.
Ryan says, I kind of hate that we're waiting so long to bolster this team. I know prices are high, but the team needs a boost now. Yeah, I also think it's a little bit on this group to figure their stuff out. Like, listen, help will probably come in the next 10 days. It's not like Ken Holland's not going to make a single move. This team does have some flaws they need to work through, though. What?
I was watching one of the major sports programs this morning.
Mm-hmm.
And one of their analysts said the Oilers should look at Kulikov.
Oh, I like Kulikov. I brought up yesterday on the show the idea of I said if you can't get Ekholm and Jeannot, an interesting little check down would be Adam Henrique and Dmitry Kulikov.
Oh my God, that is a giant step.
Kulikov's really good. I shouldn't say really good. Kulikov is very serviceable.
And so
he makes their blue line better.
Yeah, he is. He is an upgrade, but like I feel like you bring in Kulikov and you brought Ekholm.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think he's not your cornerstone defensive solve.
No, but I think
he's like your like depth ad that's responsible. And so like I'm not opposed to the Kulikov, but like what else did we do? If he's our only blue line addition, then no, sir.
Someone did bring up to me in terms of my Henrique and Kulikov idea that Adam Henrique does have a modified no trade clause with a 10-team no trade list on there. So, I mean, he's
Doesn't
a Canadian.
matter. McDavid.
He's a Canadian guy. Would he be tempted to play playoff hockey and get out of Anaheim? Maybe. Probably at his age, 33, maybe wants to play for one more deal after this. So getting a chance to play playoff hockey would help him with that as well. But I think Kulikov is going to be the guy, and we've heard this before. When you miss out on Gavrikov, like it seems like some teams will because he's going to go to Boston, you check down to Kulikov. If you're one of those teams who maybe wanted Chychrun and you don't get him and you go, I just need something to make my blue line better, Kulikov is going to be a check down option for a lot of teams. I'm actually really intrigued by his market. Nick G says John Klingberg. No, he sucks and is very expensive. Kulikov is an upgrade on whom? I think defensively in his own end, he's an upgrade on Philip Broberg. I think he steadies you a little bit. He can take some of the hard minutes off the plate of some of their other options. I don't dislike Kulikov at all, and you'd get him at 50% retained for like $1.15 million. That's a good price tag to get a guy like that at.
It makes sense. Or you put him in your second pair and move Kulak to the right side.
Yeah, or Kulikov, I think, has experience playing the flip side as well, so he can do a lot of different stuff for you. Let's get into our keys to victory tonight as the Oilers are taking on the Philadelphia Flyers. Edmonton looking for a big win at home. Shout out to our friends at Sherwood for the giant keys to victory. For me, it's going to be penetrate this trap that the Flyers have going on. They are good at locking it down and playing just this slow, grinded out thing. If you're the Oilers, the key to victory is to force your own style of game upon the Flyers. You are at your best when you're getting a lot of dangerous chances. You're flying quickly in transition. That is what the Oilers need to do here tonight. I think part of that is on their big guns to really set the tone with that, but also those guys in the bottom six that we saw play well against Colorado, keep rolling that over. Ryan McLeod's playing good hockey. Warren Fogel's playing some good hockey. Keep that going tonight. If you're Jay Woodcroft, maybe play those guys a little bit more. And then you also need the big guns to set the tone. But the Oilers need to play their style tonight against Philadelphia Flyers and not get bought into a dump and chase fest like John Tortorella probably wants you to be.
I agree.
Okay.
That was going to be mine, so I'll think of a new one right now. It was
verbatim?
Probably pretty close.
Yeah. Mine is the Oilers need to like simplify their game quite a bit. I think they're screwing themselves in the foot with like bad icings and like terrible timing, and all of a sudden they lose the face-off, and then we blame the face-off loss, but really the issue is the fact it went down the ice and no 100%. One was able to get on it. So just make simpler passes, don't panic under pressure. Like, you're better than the Philadelphia Flyers, so just play your own game and keep it simple. Your skill should be good enough to beat this team alone.
Fair. Key to victory?
Well, to be on brand for Sherwood Ford to the Giant, just bring your giant stick and give and deliver a giant beating. Like, that is what this game needs to be. It just needs to be that. Like, we got to get mentally back on the rails. We are so fickle. We can't even handle a 3-goal lead. And if we get one, we start sitting back and screwing up and giving it away. We just need to deliver a giant beating and then build off of that.
Let's talk about this thing from a betting perspective this evening, brought to you by our friends at Betway. Hit it, Aaron. Yeah. The Oilers are big-time favorites, minus 300. The Flyers are plus 250. If you like the Oilers on the puck line, they're still only minus 134. Jay, I'll let you go first. You are looking for your first win since we started doing our game day big bets, and you're putting your money where your mouth is based on your key to victory.
Should have won my last two.
Well,
should have. Should have done the cash out. Anyways, my bad. So I don't know how this works because I am putting 5 units on this bet.
No, you're only allowed 1.
I am putting 5 units on this bet.
You can place 1 for the challenge, so you got a hole to climb out of.
I'm saying giant beatdown, so I'm going Oilers minus 2.5. And that is paying 2.75 to 1.
Jay has made the change to the decimal system for betting. So
decimals, for every dollar I'm betting, I get $2.75 back.
It is probably a simpler way to think about it.
It is the only way. It's your way. It's
no fractions. England is fractions.
Oh, like 3 to 2 or whatever, or like 6.5 to 2.
Oh, horse racing.
Yeah.
But like, if it doesn't have the 3-2, it would be 3-1 if it wasn't a fraction. So
Yes.
it's kind of
it's similar.
Yeah, gotcha.
But I like the way now. It feels a lot easier
Because what's minus 275 other than it sounds disgusting. It might not be that disgusting if you see it in a decimal form.
Liam, what do you like tonight?
Going back to old reliable.
I dig it. I
Power
like that.
play goal and an empty net plus 250.
Oh, so you think it's gonna be a close game?
Well, I see Edmonton Oilers. I'm sure they'll do something to keep it close, but I think it'll be not close enough that the Oilers can get an empty net goal. So there you go. I'm going with that.
I'm taking the Oilers as a team to get 35 plus shots on goal. They've done this in 2 of their last 3 games, hitting 40 shots in 2 of those last 3 games as well. And they did this last time they played the Flyers, getting exactly 35 shots on goal. So Edmonton, 35 plus shots on goal, minus 134. I just want to win here. This seems like a little bit of a layup. The payout's not as good as what you guys are going after, but I think this is a nice, safe spot.
We are due.
Well,
they're due for a juicy payout.
Clearly, Jay and I's strategy is going very well with one win between the two of us, and your strategy of being a bit more conservative has
boring
earned you a little bit. But eventually, we will rise and we will win this.
Yeah, we claw back in clumps. We're like Warren Fogle.
Yes, 1 in every 7.
We're streaky, but when we do, it's a 2-goal night.
Yep,
fair. Hungry Tyler asks, are they wearing the reverse retros tonight? Are we still 0-5 in those? They did beat the Hawks in their reverse retros. They're done with them, yeah. So I think tonight's just a normal jersey night for the Oilers. Also, some people were asking us about our thoughts on Brad Marchand's comment. Did you see it?
Oh, the boycott thing?
Well, there was a report that Edmonton, Seattle, and I think it was Detroit are in the running for the 2025 NHL All-Star game.
Well, we're supposed to be. That's the whole point of getting a new arena. You get entered into the draw.
Yeah. And Brad Marchand commented on that post and said, I can't wait to see how many players boycott that one. And
which is troll. Like, that's what he does. Like,
also, it's kind of true.
Like, if he gets nominated, he will be in any of those cities.
He might be, yeah. I do think, though, like, when you look back through All-Star games, like, attendance was good in Vegas. Attendance was very good in Florida. Attendance wasn't that good.
So,
when they go to Columbus.
Players need to remember, you're still paying escrow. I'm sure you like that. What's the All-Star game? Yeah, it's boring for me to watch, but it's for the kids. It's growing the game, and it's for the sponsors that are paying the bills. So it doesn't matter where the hell it is. Yeah. You report for duty, and we help grow the game. That helps your situation, and we move on.
All right, Oilers and the Flyers tonight. What a weird schedule for Edmonton. You play in Colorado on Sunday. You fly home to play Philly. Then you fly to Pittsburgh to play the Penguins on Thursday. Columbus for a little morning game on Saturday as well. But I look at this. The Penguins are spiraling. They've lost 3 in a row. The Flyers only have 3 wins in their last 10. Columbus is more interested in Connor Bedard than they are in winning hockey games. These are 3 very winnable hockey games for the Edmonton Oilers.
Tyler, I have to ask you a question.
What?
In Nate radio and television, what was your training when you have to sneeze on live television?
Hit your cough button.
I'll point your mic down. You ready?
Yeah.
No, it's it's funny. Now I had to, and now I've talked. My eyes are watering though because
I actually have a strategy. They didn't tell me this at school. This was a life lesson. If you say pineapples to yourself, it distracts your brain and you forget that you need to sneeze because you're now thinking about pineapples. Test it.
But only pineapples. Why don't I just think of like
say other things?
Red truck.
There you go.
Think about a cool truck.
Next time you have to sneeze.
Now remember this red truck in Mortlack, Saskatchewan that my aunt had.
And there goes the sneeze.
Oh my God.
Magic.
There you go. Just quickly, if you missed it earlier in the show, Stuart Skinner is starting tonight. Sounds like Evander, Kane, and Klim Kostin won't play this evening, and Vinny Desharnais is back with the squad. So I think the Oilers will go with 11-7 again this evening with Vinny in the lineup.
But can Devon Shaw play?
I think
so. Would they not have to go 10-7?
Oh yeah, boy, that's
Vinny needs to be in. I'm sorry.
They said he's in.
Like Vinny probably gets us those W's.
He's got more than he's lost.
Just slows it, calms it down. You know.
Yeah. All right.
Like what was that overtime against Colorado? Like what was Nurse thinking there? Just let Rantanen get in front of him and then had to chase him to the you can't he had the option to be in front and stay with him, but he gave it up Oh God. Anyways,
Game shouldn't have gone to
things-
overtime.
There's
is
many
the-
things we
is the
pissed
point.
off about in that game.
Let's hope the Oilers give us plenty of things to cheer about this evening. So
-2.5, of course.
-2.5.
Just a
Oilers
cool,
on home
easy
ice.
night. Everyone just relax. It's a nice Tuesday after a family day long weekend. Enjoy yourself. Just sit in your chair, feeling confident that the game's just going to go the way it needs to go. Vinny's in.
Mhm.
He's going to tone it down. What's Evander Kane's situation?
Not playing.
Still not playing?
Don't think so
Ouch.
yet.
Anything disclosed?
No, upper body.
They showed a video, actually. There was a video circulating around. It was against Detroit. He got hit, and he looked like he got hit into his arm, and it kind of like compressed it a little bit. So it might be a shoulder or elbow thing. Just speculating, but someone tweeted a video out about it today.
Ah, well, there you go. It's an upper body thing. That's what we know. We'll see if he's in the lineup Thursday. Drop your score predictions in the chat before you dip out. Hit the like button as well. Shout out to our friends at Sherwood Ford the Giant. As always, this has been a fun Sherwood Ford Giant Game Day edition of the show. Also, shout out to our friends at Star Mechanical. Also, Betway. Bet 19 plus. Please play responsibly. Enjoy the game tonight, 7 o'clock puck drop. We'll be back tomorrow with Frank Saravalli.